This podcast replay is brought to you by Pallet Rack City, specializing in knockdown and installations of your warehouse equipment. They also sell used forklifts and dock equipment, largest used rack inventory in South Florida. You want a great rack? Call Eddie right now, 305-887-9212, Pallet Rack City.
Mr. Perkins for you, sir.
Speaking of a guy that I know grinds and works always, that is the Perk man, Chris Perkins from The Athletic. He covers the Miami Dolphins for The Athletic. He was over at the Senior Bowl. We saw him there covering it for The Athletic. And, of course, you can follow him on Twitter at Chris Perk. Mr. Perkins, good afternoon, sir. Thank you for taking some time.
Hey, glad that you guys are having me. I am an hour away from watching the Senior Bowl on my phone because I'm an AT&T UVerse subscriber, and they've been in this big fight with NFL Network. I haven't had NFL Network for it's over a year, maybe a year and a half.
Wow.
I can't get it on my tablet. I can only get it on my phone when I log off of my home Wi-Fi. So. Yeah, that's what's in my future, man. Senior Bowl on the phone.
Wow, that's a trip right there that you're doing that, man. Holy moly!
Yeah. Well, it's first world problems, I admit, but I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like it, though.
No, I feel you. I have it set to record at home, so when I get home, I'll end up watching it. So you were there this week with me and Bill out there, and all the rest of the contingent that were covering all the NFL teams. First of all, your thoughts on what you saw this week. Was there a quarterback that caught your eye or a couple out there, Perk?
Well, for Miami Dolphins purposes, I will say that Justin Herbert looked good, but not good enough to be the number 5 pick. Jordan Love looked inconsistent, and I thought that the quarterbacks kind of went down after that. And, just from an overall standpoint, I don't think that I was really surprised by anything that I saw out there. Justin Herbert with the lively arm, he can make all the throws that you want him to make. The big thing about him is his leadership and personality and his assertiveness, and I didn't really get a sense of that out there. Jordan Love, one of the things that you heard about him was that he's got the lively arm and he's got everything that you need, but sometimes he misses on those slants and those intermediate routes. And you did see that a little bit. I thought Jordan was very inconsistent. Is either of them ready to start? Herbert, maybe. Jordan Love, from what I saw, I think a year or a half season even on the bench would benefit him greatly. But really, to me, none of the other quarterbacks really stood out as far as, first rounder or second rounder who could offer you some help right now. A couple of the guys maybe down the line, including Shea Patterson, maybe 4th or 5th round, and he could help you in a couple of years. But I really didn't see a whole lot that I didn't expect out of those quarterbacks.
No, I do like Love. I like what I saw from Love. I think he's a project. I don't take him in the first round. And I like the Gordon kid, too. I thought another project. Again, not even a second rounder in my book. Probably more of a third rounder is what I would take because he doesn't have the arm that Love and Herbert do. But Herbert scares the crap out of me, bro. He just scares the crap out of me because of the lack of maturity. And so that's the part that leaves me scratching. I actually like the Princeton kid as a project guy too in the East-West Shrine game the week before. So all right, so you tell me, Chris Grier, what'd you come away from that press conference when he was addressing certain things, especially Tua?
I think they like Tua, and I still think that they would take him at number 5 if he's available. I think that would be a smart pick. It's funny. I still don't have a read on Brian Flores. I think I know Chris Grier a little more than Brian Flores, but look, we can look at flow from a number of different ways, not just from Minkah Fitzpatrick or some of the position changes like Bobby McCain from the slot to free safety. But you just look at like the Chad O'Shea and Chan Gailey and Kirk Kuntz, the high school coach that they hired. There's always something unexpected with him, and the handling of Josh Rosen. So, I really don't know what to expect from this team. And so when you ask me what about Grier, Chris Grier didn't say anything unexpected to me. He said that they kind of like to. He said they fully expect Ryan Fitzpatrick to be back. So there was nothing unexpected to me. I'm probably listening to Brian Flores more nowadays than I am to Chris Grier because the funny thing here, Big O, is that during the owners' meetings, when Steve Ross was talking to us in Phoenix and whenever the owners' meetings were, I don't know, in Bay or whenever they were, he was telling us that he didn't want to listen to a coach anymore. He had listened to Philbin a little too much, he thought. He had listened to Gase a little too much, he thought. And I thought, that's great. This is this guy taking control of his franchise, but I think they're listening to Flo a whole lot, maybe even more than Grier. So, again, when you ask me about Grier, nothing unexpected. Flo spoke the day before, and I'm still trying to get a handle on Brian Flores because just when you think he's going to zig, he zags. And look, 5-11 record and everything that he did, it's tough to doubt him. But some of the coaching changes, I'm going to say we'll see. I'll say we'll see. So that was really kind of my takeaway for the Dolphins from the week. Is I still don't have a good grasp on what they want to do offensively in the draft, in free agency, really anywhere on the team, coaching staff, nowhere. It's been a bunch of little surprises, I think.
Well, so basically what you're saying is that Flo is taking a page out of Belichick.
Yes.
Unpredictable.
That's what I would say. And you know what? And I'll also say this for Flo that we do say that a lot, but he is a lot different from Belichick, and we can start with player relations and things like that. But I do think that Flo is really a independent guy. He's young. He's only 38 years old, but he's not a Sean McVay young coach, and some of these others, LaFleur, and he doesn't really fit anybody's box. First time coaches of Frank Reich or Mike Vrabel or any of the real, the guys who are first time coaches hired in the last few years. I think Flo is kind of unique in that, Adam Gase kind of fit a box, right? He was an offensive minded guy, and I think Flo is just a little bit different, and that's, to me, that's why I still don't have a good grasp on what he's trying to accomplish. Or how he's trying to accomplish it. We know what he's trying to accomplish.
Chris Perkins, of course, from The Athletic, joining us, covering the Miami Dolphins on a daily basis. And, of course, you can follow him on Twitter at Chris Perk. Perkins, they just hired Gerald Alexander as the D-backs coach. And, I'm almost at the attitude of, man, I didn't know these coaches when they first got here, the first group.
Yep.
I don't know a lot of these guys except for Chan Gailey. I actually like the Chan Gailey hire because I know who Chan Gailey is. I covered him, and I was actually a beat guy when he was, here and all that stuff. So I like the hire. I don't believe that being 3 years out of football makes a difference because everything that they're running now, they were running 3 years ago, and he's run spread, and he's run all kinds of offenses, and football really hasn't changed. So to me, I'm just not the guy that's going to go crazy on the guys they fired or the guys they hired because I don't know enough about any of this. I don't know enough about what happened behind the scenes. And so there's got to be a rhyme or a reason to all of this, even though it does look somewhat awkward when you see a high school coach and a guy that's been retired for 3 years and those kind of things. It isn't normal, but it's hard for me to overreact on any of it either way, positive or negative. Your thoughts on all of this?
No, I agree with that 100%. As I said, I'm just still trying to figure it out. Like, the Pat Flaherty firing, before training camp starts. It's just, there are just a bunch of things here where you just look and you go, what in the world is going on here? Why are you making all of these moves? But look, the coaching staff thing, I agree with you. I don't know enough about these guys. To me, like the first couple of years under a coach, that's where you kind of learn who they are and how they think. And that's what we're doing with this organization with Chris Grier as the strong GM, I guess, for lack of a better term, that he's not sharing power with Adon Aponte or Joe Philbin or whoever. He is a strong GM and Flo is a strong coach. And so let's see what this administration, what this set of power does. And how they go about things, but it's just been a bit unconventional. Not wrong, just a bit unconventional. Again, I don't know that anybody in the media has a good feel for what Flo is going to do next, whether we're talking free agency, the draft. I mean, name one person who would have got one of these coaching hires correct, right? I mean,
nobody.
You couldn't predict. Yeah, you couldn't predict any of it. So, it puts some fun and some adventure into it. And it also makes it important, for people like you and me to be at the Senior Bowl and to talk to him at other times so that we can look him face to face and ask the questions that we want to ask. And, because actions are one thing, but, attitude and the way you deliver a message and just kind of seeing body language and all that kind of stuff, it helps. It helps to kind of interpret what's going on there, kind of reading between the lines. So, yeah, we're still in a feeling out process of this whole administration, but every move, actually, I was going to say every move gets us closer to a conclusion, but I don't know. I didn't see Chan Gailey coming, so it's been interesting so far.
Chris Perkins, of course, from The Athletic, joining us, and he covers the Miami Dolphins on a daily basis. And, of course, the Big O Show proudly brought to you by Caneswear, Miami Fanwear. Visit them at 2511 South University Drive in Davie. You order over $99, you will get free shipping at caneswear.com. Chris, all right, we talk a little draft here. When you started looking at the wide receivers in the Senior Bowl, because I saw them at the East-West and at the Senior Bowl. This may be the largest set of wide receivers I have ever seen in my life. And the last 2 weeks, I was so impressed with some of the guys that I've seen. I'm going, I was thinking at first receiver isn't a priority, but when you've got 14 picks and you've got a lot of really good receivers coming into this league, I think Miami should actually dabble in one of those cats.
Oh yeah, I definitely think so. I'm nothing against Devontae and Gesicki, but I'm not a believer yet. They both had really good seasons, but same with Preston Williams for the whatever 8 games he played. I can't count on them until I see them do it in back-to-back years or two out of two years and a 3-year stretch. That's how I am for most players. That I can't count on you until I see you do it again. So, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing them take Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb at number 5. I really wouldn't. But as far as the guys we saw at the Senior Bowl, the kid from Baylor was really good. The kid from SMU was really good. Pittman was okay from USC. The Duvernay kid from Texas seemed pretty good also.
Florida.
Van Jefferson.
Van Jefferson. Sean Jefferson's kid. He looked great.
Yep.
I like him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So he's Florida, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Correct. Yeah. There's some really good receivers. So if I'm the Dolphins, I would definitely take a receiver because, look, you don't know how Albert Wilson is going to be. You don't know how Jakeem Grant is going to be. Look, you don't know how Preston Williams is going to be. And I'm talking health-wise with those guys, not necessarily even performance-wise. So Allen Hines is okay. I mean, they've got a decent crop, but, look, things happen during the season, right? I mean, look at how they started out at running back last year, and fantasy people are going crazy. Is Kalen Blige or Kenyon Drake going to get the most touches? Well, as the season wore on, it turned out not to be a factor. So, yeah, receiver is just one of those positions where you can't have enough talent. So, and even if they don't take a receiver at number 5, which, I have my doubts that that'll happen. But, again, if it's Judy or Lamb, bring them on. But, yeah, and I could see them taking a receiver in the first 4 rounds, even with all their other needs. There are some good receivers out there, and somebody's going to be available.
Chris Perkins, of course, from The Athletic, joining us, talking a little Miami Dolphins as the Dolphins get ready for a little draft. So, Perk, just in case I don't have you on next week, what are you thinking in the Super Bowl, my brother? Where are you leaning since we're going to be all Super Bowl heavy this coming week?
Man, you know what? I actually haven't even thought about who I'm going to take in that game. Kansas City is just so hard to stop, man. A team that can score like that and score in bunches, they're just so hard to stop. San Francisco with that great front, that's a great match. But I think I'm gonna go for I'm gonna say Kansas City, and boy, I don't know, score. I would say, let's say 32-27. How's that?
I like it. And one more thing before I let you go. I would imagine that the guy that's the happiest this week, and not because he's making money, because obviously he's always making money, but that's Stephen Ross, because he was so, while a lot of us were worried about, hey, why don't you worry about the Dolphins and all of that stuff, he and his people and Tom Garfinkel were, we need to improve that facility. And because we want it to be world-class, and their vision has extremely paid off, my brother. It's national championship playoff games, it's Super Bowl, it's Formula One, it's tennis, it's concerts. It really is, and the practice facilities coming soon. But it's really amazing that the vision that they had and how they have really turned that place into a multifaceted entertainment destination.
Yeah, it is amazing, and really, the only bad thing is that there's not enough land or real estate to build a whole complex to get people out there and keep them out there, because you look for the Super Bowl and nobody's going to hang out in Miami Gardens. There's just, and that's not a rip on Miami Gardens, but there's just no business out there, right? Everybody's going to South Beach, and that's where the NFL experience is, and everything like that. And then I think that the previous Super Bowl, it was a Dave Broward thing, if I remember correctly. But I would say other than that, and that's not Steve Ross's fault that you can't build like a hotel and an entertainment complex and nightclubs right there at the stadium to keep people right there. But a smashing success, great foresight, great vision, even things like that pedestrian bridge, which does great wonders for the game day traffic, that you don't have to sit there and wait for people on foot to cross the street. They go over the bridge. And
how about the tunnel? How about the tunnel inside?
The tunnel.
It's ridiculous. I mean, come on.
All that stuff they've done. And that's the extra stuff, because you recall before when they were making the stadium improvements, or before they made the improvements, Steve Ross went to the NFL and said, what do we need to do? And they told them all kinds of things. Like one of the things, they needed better lighting for HD TV. And so all those things, but in addition to that, the improved concessions and all that kind of stuff. So great job by Steve Ross, man. I look, you can say whatever you want about Steve Ross, but I do think he's the type of one, from the standpoint, his wallet is open and he lets the football people make football decisions.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Well, what do you think about that story that they were saying that, he wants, what's it called? He wants Herbert. No, I'm sorry. He wants
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. Are we going to get into a ridiculous story just like the Lamar thing, when he really didn't want Lamar? It was just a story that Chris Grier, him and Gase, like Lamar, the human being. They weren't on board for Lamar, the quarterback. That was never a true story, yet that narrative carried all the way until it was finally, unearthed Are we going to do the same thing now with Stephen Ross and Joe Burrow?
I'm not. You know what? And I will tell you this, Big O. I acknowledge nobody has gotten anything from anybody in the Dolphins organization about who they like. On the record, off the record,
exactly.
Overheard, just like there's been nothing so far. So no, I'm not going to buy into any of this stuff. And you know, that's just not even getting into the price tag. I mean, that you
right.
know,
which would be ridiculous.
An enormous problem. If you're Cincinnati, what are you gonna charge somebody to take your franchise quarterback away?
Now, and
right?
you know what, Perk? If you do all this trading and you trade up to go get him and you give up all those picks, then why the hell did you do all of this in the offseason to collect all those picks? Because the plan is really to draft a quarterback and have that plethora of picks to surround him with talent. But if you're going to trade all those picks for the one guy and then you have nothing to surround him, then it ends up becoming Andrew Luck, and you'll just bury him with injuries, and then he'll just want to walk away from the game, and it's over.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep. No, I agree. So, you know, but again, I will get back to one of my first points, though. We are still learning this, you know, this administration. I doubt that they would give, I mean, Cincinnati's going to, they would, let's just say they ask at least 3 firsts, right?
Mm-hmm.
3 firsts and a second. Whatever the crazy price would be, I doubt this administration would pay it, because I think that Flo and Grier look at building the team evenly, and they've said this they said this about free agents, as opposed to paying one player that much money. Let's build evenly. I do think that's still their philosophy, and that's the way that they kind of approach things. So I would be absolutely shocked on a couple of levels if that turned out to be true.
Perk, what are you working at The Athletic, so folks can go check you out there at The Athletic?
Oh, Big O. I'm trying to I'm under so much pressure right now. You know, I'm getting knee replacement surgery. So I've got a couple of Super Bowl stories that I'm trying to wrap up before then, man. So one is on, non-game Super Bowl memories. And I'll tell you, Dan Morgan, obviously from UM and Terravella High School, played for Carolina Panthers. He said John Fox took them to a remote hotel on Saturday night, the night before the game. And he goes, we're just driving down this remote highway, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's these 2 women on the side of the road. They flash the bus. And he goes, everybody was just stunned. I said, did anybody cheer or anything? He goes, no, everybody was just stunned. It was like we were in the middle of nowhere. Like, the bus was coming. I was like, oh, dude, that's great. So, yeah, so that's one of the things I'm trying to rush and get done.
I love it. Knee replacement surgery, my brother. Wow. Man.
Yeah.
What?
There you go. I've had no ACL and no cartilage in my right knee for like 10 years, man. And so now it's just time to get it replaced, man.
Well, hey, look, 20 years of, running the ball in the NFL, and, it takes wear and tear, Perk, It's about time.
Yeah. Right. Unfortunately, I squandered all my money, and I have to work for the Athletic. But, other than that, hey, right?
It's a beautiful thing. There you go.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Perk, you're the best, my
sir.
brother. Thank you for taking some time, my man. Talking little Dolphins, man.
All right.
You're the best. Thank you.
Always good, Big O.
You got it.
Enjoy.
There you go. The man, Chris Perkins. Gotta love it from The Athletic. He's so good. I didn't know he needed knee replacement surgery. My Lord, he hasn't had ligaments or cartilage in that knee. That is crazy, dude.
That day when you went down there, man, and you came back up, and you're like, I just saw Perk. And I'm like, dude, that's one of the people I really was looking forward to meeting, man.
Yeah. Well, actually, I met Lisa Johnson for the first time. She was there also covering the Dolphins. She was out here at the Senior Bowl, and I've gone back and forth with Lisa for a while now on Twitter. So it was good to meet her, actually. So, yeah, she was down there hanging out with Perk, and, we were talking with several people.
I told him I'm the mushroom of the group. I'm kept in the dark
No.
and fed the BS.
Nah, it's just the way things were set up this year was a little different.
You know what? It actually, man, we were very fortunate.
Yes.
That was fantastic.
No, it was great.
Vic
great.
was awesome, man.
No doubt.
Hooked us up.
It was awesome.